You were at the Rams Cowboys joint festivities up in Oxnard. First order of business is the man you used to protect back in the day. What can you tell me about Matthew Stafford? Apparently, he's got some sort of a disc ailment that required an epidural, is what Ian Rappaport was reporting today from NFL Network. Andrew, what can you tell me?
Yeah, it sounds like he showed up basically to camp and kind of a little prior to camp was just having some back issues, as I well know, playing into my 40s. You know what? That's part of getting old and playing the game of football. But, he just decided to be, precautious with it and really take care of himself. And, it's like, hey, what can we do to probably, prolong the recovery process as much as we can? I mean, this guy's played a lot of football. He took a lot of snaps with Devontae and all those guys in the offseason throwing. So it's not like they feel like, oh, man, we're not going to miss time in that sense. Let's make sure this guy's healthy. Let's make sure the back is great before we get out there because there's really no reason to push it. And this is also an advantage you have when you have a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo as your backup, a veteran who's been in the big moments and played on the biggest stage. So you feel confident in, hey, let's make sure our guy is fully healthy before he has to go back out there. And football is football. Even though you're not hitting the quarterback in camp, things happen. And he's going to have to protect himself. And you want to make sure he feels good and we feel good about, week one. Houston Texans, that's what matters.
Right. And obviously we're more than 3 weeks away from that. All that said, though, Andrew, I mean, this is not the ideal way for training camp to go in the first 2 weeks where you're week to week, you're getting an epidural, you're seeing specialists, you're doing all that stuff. Anything that you can share of a level of concern here?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it in Cincinnati, right? I mean, we've seen how it affected them in training camp with Joe Burrow having time missed over the last few years and really that slow start. And you look at this Rams team, it's been something they've dealt with the last few years of just the injury bug. Not necessarily that they've started slow, but they've really had lots of injuries early in the season that dictated a little bit how they started. And then they kind of made their runs late in the year. And I think it's one of those things, have you seen how they've been able to finish after the bye week the last few years? If you could get that fast start, if you could get ahead a little bit, maybe you're playing at home in LA and still instead of on the road in Philadelphia, in the month of January. So that's that opportunity for them. They want to win this division again. It's going to be a challenge. I think all the other teams in this division have gotten better, and I think they've got to have a fast start. So, obviously there's concern, but I don't think there's concern on whether Matthew Stafford will be out there week one playing quarterback for the Rams.
Okay, so, and again, before I move on to another thing that you were talking about on Tuesday at this joint practice with the Cowboys, and anything you can share from Stafford. Again, I know you don't speak for him, but was he bummed, nervous, chill? I mean, I'm sure you had some form of communication with him that you might be able to share with me here. Andrew,
I think it's like any other veteran in those situations. I've been there. I had a patella issue later in my career where I had to sit out a lot of practices in camp. I think, the other guy I got to spend some time with yesterday is frustrated as well when you're sitting out. But you're frustrated. Listen, we play this game because we love it. And I know people make it about performance and all this, but you love playing the game. You don't want to sit there on the side and watch everybody practice. Like, you want to be out there. Even at my age, when I was 40, I missed practices. But for the most part, if we were in pads, I was in the practice because I want to compete. I want to get better at my craft. Those things are important to you. So Stafford's, he's frustrated. But the dude he's trying his best not to show that to his teammates and be the leader he is all the time. And you know what, in his own time, I'm sure he's pushing himself as hard as he possibly can because you want to be out there with the guys, and it's miserable to not be. There is nothing worse than watching an NFL practice, wanting to be out there on that field. I mean, heck, every one of them I go to, I'm like, man, I think I could put some pads on and get out there and play around because it just gives you that feeling. You don't ever want to be the guy standing on the side.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.